Stop right there. Before you scroll away, let me tell you the truth that will shock you. You've been living inside one of the greatest lies society has ever told you. Because here's the brutal truth: your kindness isn't protecting you. It's destroying you. Every time you give without limit, people respect you less. Every time you forgive too easily, they test you more. And every time you show your goodness blindly, you hand others the blueprint to control you. That's the terrifying price of kindness. It turns you into prey in a world full of predators. But now, we're going to flip the script. You're about to learn the dark, hidden strategies that the powerful have always known. Secrets buried in Machiavelli's words, sharpened in Robert Greene's laws of power, and quietly used by leaders, rulers, and manipulators for centuries. And here's the best part: once you see these truths, you can't unsee them. In just a short time, you'll notice why people exploit you, why your goodness has been turned into weakness, and most importantly, how to take that same kindness and transform it into raw, undeniable power. By the end of this video, you won't just feel wiser. You'll be armed. You'll see through the traps that used to enslave you. You'll stop being the one who bends and start being the one who controls. This isn't self-help. This is survival. And if you're ready to face the terrifying price of kindness, and finally claim the power you've been giving away, then stay right here. Because everything changes right now. Think carefully. How many times have you been told, just be generous, keep giving, people will respect you for it? It sounds noble, right? But here's the question: has your endless kindness ever truly protected you? Or has it left you drained, invisible, and quietly resented? Here's the brutal truth nobody dares say out loud: blind generosity doesn't build loyalty, it breeds entitlement. The more you give without strategy, the more people expect from you. And the second you stop, you're no longer seen as kind. You're seen as selfish. So today, let's tear apart one of the biggest lies you've ever been told. Not only will I show you how your kindness is destroying your power, I'll also show you how to flip it. How to make your generosity a weapon so sharp, it disarms anyone who tries to use you. Think about the kindest person you know. Maybe it's you, the one who always says yes, the one who always pays, the one who always shows up. Now ask yourself, are they truly respected, or are they simply convenient? Do people admire them as a leader, or do they call them only when they need something? Here's the painful pattern. At first, your kindness makes people grateful. Over time, your kindness makes people comfortable. Eventually, your kindness makes people entitled. And when entitlement grows, respect dies. Suddenly, you're not the generous friend. You're the servant. You're not the supportive coworker. You're the office doormat. The price of blind generosity isn't admiration, it's exploitation. And if you're honest with yourself, you've felt this before. That sting when someone ignores all the times you gave and attacks you for the one time you didn't. That's the hidden cost of being too nice. Here's the dark psychological truth: human beings adapt to goodness. What feels special today becomes normal tomorrow. Psychologists call this hedonic adaptation. Buy a child a toy once, they light up. Buy it 10 times, they barely smile. Cover for your colleague once, they're thankful. Cover 10 times, they assume it's your job. Pay for your friends once, they brag about you. Pay every time, they stop even noticing. Generosity, when unlimited, loses all of its power. It becomes invisible. People don't respect it because it carries no weight. And here's the twist: when you finally stop, When you say no just once, that's the moment people react the strongest. Not with gratitude for the hundreds of yeses, but with anger for the single no. Machiavelli understood this centuries ago. He wrote, "Benefits ought to be conferred gradually, and in that way they will taste better." He knew what few realize today: scarcity creates value. Abundance destroys it. Let me tell you a story. I once knew a man who was the most generous person in the office. He stayed late to help his team, covered their mistakes, paid for their lunches, and never said no. People loved him at first. But when a promotion came, guess what happened? They gave it to someone else. Why? Because generosity didn't make him look like a leader. It made him look like a servant. Or think about parents who spoil their children. At first, every gift feels magical. But soon the new phone, the new shoes, the new privileges, they stop being special. And when those parents finally say no, their kids don't see the years of giving. They only see the one act of refusal. It happens in friendships too. You drive people around, you pay the bill, you always listen. But when you finally need help, silence. Suddenly, everyone's busy. This is the generosity trap. Your kindness doesn't buy you loyalty. It builds dependency. And dependency always turns into resentment when the supply runs out. So what's the lesson? Should you stop being generous altogether? No, that's not the point. The real power isn't in giving endlessly. It's in giving strategically. Here's how you flip the script. Be selective. Give rarely, so your generosity keeps its value. A single honest gesture at the right time can break down walls that endless giving never could. Be intentional. Don't give to prove your goodness. Give to achieve a purpose, to build trust, to open doors, to earn influence. Be controlled. Your kindness should be on your terms, not theirs. You decide when, where, and to whom. Because generosity without boundaries signals weakness. But generosity used wisely becomes one of the most powerful tools in your arsenal. It disarms suspicion, lowers defenses, and makes people feel indebted to you. That's not weakness. That's strategy. From today forward, you will never give blindly again. You will never let your kindness be taken for granted. Your generosity will no longer be your weakness. It will be your weapon. You declare this now, right now. I give with power. I give with purpose. Say it, write it, believe it. Because from this moment on, your kindness is not free. It is strategic, and that's what makes it powerful. Let me ask you something dangerous. When you're kind, do you think people give you the same kindness back? Do you think your honesty guarantees theirs? The truth is, no one shows you who they really are when you're busy being good. They hide. They wear masks. And while you reveal everything through kindness, they study you, quietly, patiently, searching for your weaknesses. Here's the brutal reality. In the game of power, the person who knows the other's weakness holds the leash. If you don't uncover their thumbscrew, they'll find yours. And once they do, they'll turn your goodness into the very weapon that destroys you. Think back on your life. You trusted a friend completely. You told them your fears, your struggles. Later, those same words came back to haunt you, used in arguments, spread behind your back. At work, you always tried to help, always volunteered. What did people see? They saw the one who couldn't say no. That became your weakness, and they used it until you were drained. In love, you gave all of yourself. Your partner knew exactly how much you feared being abandoned. That fear became their power, and your leash. The price of blind goodness is exposure. You hand people the blueprint to control you. You think kindness earns loyalty, but in reality, it uncovers your deepest vulnerabilities and places them in someone else's hands. Here's the truth society never tells you: every human has a weakness. A fear, a desire, a wound, or a need they cannot resist. Robert Greene calls this the thumbscrew, the lever that bends even the strongest. And while you waste your life hoping your kindness will protect you, others are mapping your buttons. They're testing your reactions. They're calculating what makes you flinch, what makes you fold, what makes you obey. Power doesn't go to the kind. Power goes to the one who knows the other's hidden need. Machiavelli warned it centuries ago: mercy without knowledge is suicide. To survive, you must study others with the same precision they study you. History proves this with brutal clarity. Julius Caesar was undone not by foreign enemies but by his own men. Men who knew his ambition and used it against him. In business, rivals don't attack your strengths, they exploit your flaws. Look at countless CEOs who fell because someone discovered their hidden addiction, their pride, or their secret fear. Even in daily life, a boss knows who's desperate for approval. A manipulative partner knows who's terrified of rejection. A fake friend knows who can't stand being alone. And what happens? They press that button again and again until you break. Goodness without awareness becomes a spotlight pointing straight at your own weakness. So what's the smarter path? You must learn the dark skill of Law 33. Study, don't assume. Every person has a hidden lever. Don't take their kindness or cruelty at face value. Watch how they react under pressure. That's where truth slips out. Control your own reveals. Don't hand over your deepest fears or desires freely. Goodness doesn't mean overexposure. Protect your secrets, set boundaries, and speak less than you know. Flip the dynamic. Instead of being the one exploited, become the one who quietly notices. The colleague obsessed with credit. The friend terrified of exclusion. The boss addicted to praise. These are their chains, and if you must, you can use them. Strategic goodness. Yes, you can be kind, but let it be measured, intentional. Don't give your power away. Use kindness as a mask while you gather knowledge. This isn't about being cruel. It's about survival. Because in a world full of wolves, the sheep who shows his softest spot first is the sheep that gets eaten. From this day forward, you will stop exposing your weaknesses through blind goodness. You will stop believing that kindness means sharing everything. Instead, you will study others as carefully as they study you. You will discover their thumbscrews, and you will guard your own. You declare this now, right now. I protect my secrets. I see their weaknesses, not just my own. Because the terrifying price of kindness is vulnerability, but the reward of Law 33 is power. If this message opened your eyes, smash that like button. If you want more truths that cut through illusions and expose the real laws of power, subscribe to this channel and turn on the bell, because what's coming next will change how you play the game forever. And don't keep this wisdom to yourself. Share this with someone who's still trapped in blind goodness. Give them the key to break free. Now, drop this in the comments. I choose strategic goodness. I turn kindness into power. Remember this: in a world of wolves, sheep are eaten. Lions fight, but shepherds rule. Be the shepherd, wise, strategic, and unshakable. Be honest with yourself. How many times have you accepted something because it was free? A gift, a favor, an opportunity that seemed too good to pass up? Society conditions you to believe that free is safe, free is harmless, free is good. But here's the brutal truth: there is no such thing as free. Every gift carries a chain. Every favor hides a price. And the moment you accept without thinking, you've just sold yourself, cheaper than you'll ever realize. Goodness makes you vulnerable because it blinds you to the hidden costs. You think kindness is pure. But in power, generosity is never pure. It is currency. And if you don't understand that, you will pay the price. Think about it. The free favor from a colleague at work. It looked like support, but later, they reminded you of it, and suddenly you were indebted. The free gift from a friend. It seemed thoughtful, but later they expected you to say yes when they asked for something big. Even in family. The parent who gives endlessly and then guilts you for every sacrifice. Each free act comes with invisible strings. And if you're blinded by goodness, you don't see the strings tightening until it's too late. The pain isn't just in what you owe. It's in the way your dignity erodes. The moment you rely on free, you surrender your independence. You stop being the chooser, and you become the chosen. The pawn, not the player. The dark truth is this: nothing of value is ever free. Every gift is a transaction. Every favor is leverage. Robert Greene calls it the free lunch trap, the belief that taking without cost protects you. In reality, it chains you. Machiavelli understood this centuries ago. Favors create obligations, and obligations create weakness. When you live in blind goodness, you give too much for free, and when you accept too carelessly. Both destroy your power. The powerful understand a simple rule: pay your own way. Stand on your own legs. Because the one who pays owns. And the one who takes belongs. History is full of examples. Kings who accepted gifts from foreign rulers later found their courts infiltrated and their loyalty divided. Generals who lived off the generosity of allies discovered those allies demanded their armies in return. Leaders who accepted funding from merchants or nobles soon became puppets of their patrons. And in modern life, the entrepreneur who takes free investment discovers they've sold control of their company. The employee who constantly accepts favors finds themselves trapped, unable to say no when the debt is called in. Even in relationships, the partner who accepts constant gifts discovers those gifts were never free, but silent chains of control. The evidence is everywhere. Nothing free is ever free. The hidden price is always higher than you think. So what do? You learn to despise the free lunch. Pay your own way. When you cover your costs, you cover your freedom. Nobody owns you, nobody controls you. Give strategically, not blindly. If you choose to be generous, make it deliberate. Give in ways that strengthen your position, not weaken it. See the hidden price. When something is offered, ask yourself, what chain comes with this? Because there's always a chain. Turn free into power. If you must accept, do it knowingly, and balance it. Return the gesture before it becomes a leash. The lesson is simple: dignity costs. Power costs. Freedom costs. But those costs are cheaper than the invisible price of free. From this day forward, you will stop chasing free. You will stop mistaking blind generosity for love. You will stop believing that kindness is pure when it always comes with a chain. Instead, you will value what you pay for. You will guard your independence by owning your choices. You will give strategically, not blindly. And you will never again sell yourself for cheap. You declare this now, right now. I pay my way. I refuse the chains of free. Because the terrifying price of kindness is hidden debt. But the reward of Law 40 is independence, dignity, and unshakable power. Let me ask you something brutally honest. How many times have you tied yourself to one person, one group, one cause, only to be abandoned the moment it no longer served them? You thought loyalty kept you safe. You thought standing by one side would protect you. But the truth? In the game of power, commitment is a trap. When you bind yourself too tightly, you don't gain security, you give away leverage. And in return, you get betrayal, disappointment, and a front row seat to your own downfall. Think about the patterns in your own life. At work, you backed one boss, hoping loyalty would guarantee your future. Then the company restructured, your protector was gone, and so was your position. In relationships, you gave everything to one person, convinced that total devotion would earn their respect. Instead, they took you for granted, and when something new came along, they left without looking back. In friendships, you always chose sides during conflicts, believing it proved your loyalty. But notice what happened. You became disposable when the dust settled, because you weren't serving yourself, only someone else's interests. The painful truth is this: the more you commit blindly, the more you become someone else's pawn. And pawns always get sacrificed first. The reality? People respect freedom, not attachment. In politics, in business, in daily life, power flows to those who remain independent. Why? Because when you're unattached, you become unpredictable. You're harder to manipulate, and more importantly, people need to court your favor. They need to win you over. Robert Greene makes it clear: committing too strongly is weakness disguised as loyalty. Machiavelli knew it centuries earlier: alliances shift, loyalties break, and the one who survives is the one who keeps options open. So remember this: mercy ties you down. Commitment locks you in. Independence sets you free. History is filled with painful lessons. Kings who tied themselves to one church were destroyed when religion shifted. Generals who swore loyalty to one ruler were executed when that ruler fell. Even nations that bound themselves to single alliances often paid the price in war when allies betrayed them. And in modern life, politicians who lean on one donor end up controlled by that donor. Employees who attach themselves to one boss crumble when that boss loses power. Entrepreneurs who bet everything on one client lose everything when that client leaves. The evidence is overwhelming. Loyalty without strategy equals self-destruction. Commitment without leverage equals chains. So what do you do instead? You master the art of strategic distance. Stay flexible. Never tie your entire future to one person or group. Keep options alive. Create competition. Make others compete for your loyalty, your skills, your attention. When people fight for you, your value rises. Appear supportive, never enslaved. You can show kindness. You can give help, but never to the point of dependence. Mercy without boundaries becomes weakness. Protect your independence. When you remain unattached, you can walk away. And walking away is the ultimate power move. This doesn't mean becoming cold or heartless. It means being smart. It means realizing that survival comes from leverage, not blind devotion. From today forward, you will stop chaining yourself to others out of fear or misplaced loyalty. You will stop thinking that mercy or devotion guarantees protection. Instead, you will guard your independence like your life depends on it, because it does. You declare this now, right now. I choose independence over blind loyalty. Because in the brutal game of power, attachments weaken you. But freedom? Freedom makes you untouchable. Think about this. Have you ever noticed how predictable your kindness makes you? People know you'll say yes. They know you'll forgive. They know exactly what you'll do, and because of that, they control you. The terrifying price of kindness is not just being used. It's being predictable. And in the game of power, predictability is suicide. The brutal truth? The moment people can define you, they can trap you. The moment your goodness becomes fixed, you stop being safe. You become a target. Look at your own life. At work, you always say yes when asked to help. Now you're the one people dump extra tasks on, while others advance. In friendships, you always play the peacemaker. Now you're the one carrying everyone's problems, while they walk away lighter and you're left drained. In relationships, you always forgive too easily. Now you're the one they test again and again, because they know you'll never leave. Do you see it? Your fixed role, the kind one, the giving one, the safe one, is not protecting you. It's chaining you. People don't fear you. They don't respect you. They use you. That's the cost of being too defined. And once you're defined, you're already defeated. The truth is this: in a world of predators, survival belongs to the shapeless. Robert Greene calls it Law 48, assume formlessness. Machiavelli knew it long before. Once people can predict you, they can exploit you. Once they can describe you, they can manipulate you. The powerful don't live in boxes. They don't let others say, "He's always kind," or "She's always generous." They flow. They adapt. They move like water. Because water can't be trapped. It reshapes itself to every container. It slips through cracks. It wears down stone. And in time, it becomes unstoppable. That's the truth. Kindness fixed in form is weakness. But kindness used strategically, shifting and controlled, that becomes power. History proves this mercilessly. Great leaders who clung to one image, the merciful king, the generous ruler, were destroyed when enemies learned to use that image against them. Empires that refused to adapt, insisting on old traditions, collapsed when the world changed around them. Even generals who fought every battle the same way eventually fell to opponents who studied their patterns. And in modern life, the worker who's always the nice guy becomes invisible during promotions. The entrepreneur who gives too much for free gets crushed by competitors who use strategy instead. The partner who never changes their role becomes the one their lover takes for granted. The proof is everywhere. When you are too fixed, too defined, you become disposable. So what's the smarter path? You learn to assume formlessness. Be unpredictable. Sometimes give, sometimes withhold. Sometimes say yes, sometimes no. Let people wonder. When they can't predict you, they can't control you. Detach your identity. Don't cling to being the kind one. Don't cling to being the strong one. The moment you wear one mask forever, you lose. Shift masks as needed. Flow like water. In conflicts, adapt. In opportunities, reshape. In danger, dissolve. Water never resists head-on, yet it conquers everything. Kindness as a weapon. Use goodness when it serves you. Withdraw it when it costs you. This isn't about cruelty, it's about control. Power belongs to those who can't be pinned down. And the only way to be untouchable is to stop being fixed. From today forward, you will stop being defined by blind kindness. You will stop living in boxes built by others. Instead, you will flow. You will adapt. You will use kindness like a tool, not a chain. You declare this now, right now. I am water. I cannot be trapped, because the terrifying price of kindness is predictability. But the reward of Law 48 is freedom, mystery, and unstoppable power. Stop trying to prove you're the smartest person in the room. I know you've been told all your life, work hard, shine brighter, show everyone your best. But let me ask you this, has it ever actually made you safe? Or has it painted a target on your back? Here's the brutal truth. When you shine too brightly, you don't inspire protection. You awaken envy. And envy is far more dangerous than hate. Hate can be fought. Envy destroys you quietly, from the inside of your relationships, your workplace, even your family. So before you try to impress again, understand this: outshining the master is not brilliance. It's suicide. Think about this carefully. At work, you stayed late, solved problems better than your boss, and somehow, you got overlooked. With friends, you were the one with better style, better ideas, more charisma, and suddenly, people grew distant. Even in your family, maybe you were the one with the big vision, and instead of admiration, you felt resistance, silence, or subtle sabotage. You thought being excellent would bring recognition. But here's the painful reality: the higher you climb, the more dangerous it becomes. Why? Because every step you take upward casts a shadow on someone who believes the spotlight belongs to them. The sad truth is this: people don't just fear failure, they fear being outshone. And when you become the reason they feel small, they will destroy you, not because you are wrong, but because you are right, and too right for their comfort. Here's the truth you were never told in school: power doesn't reward brilliance. It rewards safety. Masters don't want students who outgrow them. Bosses don't want employees who look like better leaders. Politicians don't want advisors who steal the spotlight. Machiavelli saw this 500 years ago. He wrote that nothing threatens a ruler more than being overshadowed by those below him. Why? Because outshining the master makes him look weak. And weakness is something no one in power can afford. This is human psychology. Respect is given to those above. Fear is triggered by those below who rise too fast. Envy is born when your light makes others feel invisible. So you think you're climbing the ladder. But to those above, you're shaking it. And no one protects the one who shakes the ladder they're standing on. History is full of tragedies caused by brilliance without strategy. Look at Nicolas Fouquet, the French finance minister. He built the most magnificent palace, hosted the grandest party, invited the king himself. His goal? To impress. The result? The king felt overshadowed, humiliated, and within days, Fouquet was arrested and spent the rest of his life in prison. His only crime? Shining too brightly. Or think of countless workplaces today. The ambitious young employee who does better work than their boss. At first, the boss smiles. But slowly, resentment builds. When promotion season comes, the talented one isn't rewarded, they're pushed aside. Not because they failed, but because they succeeded too well. I once knew a man like this. He had sharper ideas than his manager. In every meeting, he spoke confidently, solved problems faster. At first, people admired him. But soon, his boss felt small, insecure. And when layoffs came, he was the first out the door. His crime? He didn't fail. He intimidated. This is the danger of brilliance without strategy. In a world ruled by fragile egos, too much light makes you a threat. And threats get eliminated. So what's the solution? Should you dim your light? Should you play dumb forever? No. The real art is in shaping how your light is perceived. Here's the strategy. Let the master shine. Make your boss feel like the genius. Echo their ideas. Add value quietly without stealing the spotlight. Hide your full strength. Reveal only enough to prove your worth, never enough to spark envy. The rest, keep hidden, like a blade behind your back. Shift the credit. Give small victories to others, especially those above you. Make them feel like you're their reflection, not their rival. Think of the sun and the moon. The moon glows beautifully, but only because it reflects the sun's light. And because of that, the sun allows it to exist. In the game of power, survival isn't about being the brightest. It's about being the smartest. Your brilliance must serve you, not expose you. Outshining the master is not strength. Outlasting the master is. From today forward, you will stop trying to prove yourself at the cost of survival. You will not blind others with your brilliance. You will use it wisely, strategically, so it protects you instead of destroys you. You declare this now, right now. I shine with strategy. I outlast with power. Remember, in the game of power, the brightest star is often the one that burns out first. Don't burn. Endure. And let your endurance be your ultimate brilliance. Stop giving people the blueprint to your life. I know it feels noble to be transparent, to share your dreams openly, to show your cards as if honesty alone could protect you. But let me ask you, how many times has revealing your plans actually worked in your favor? Here's the dark truth. The moment others know your next move, they can block it. And when you keep your true intentions hidden, you hold the only weapon that guarantees control, unpredictability. Think about the last time you trusted too much. You told a coworker about your new idea, and weeks later, they pitched it before you. You opened your heart to a friend about your next big step, and somehow they discouraged you, planting doubt until you abandoned it. You explained your strategy at work, and suddenly someone else was rewarded for executing it. Every time you shared openly, you gave away leverage. And here's the painful reality: people rarely applaud your plans. They either steal them, block them, or quietly root against them. By being transparent, you thought you were building trust. In truth, you were building your own cage, one where your every move became predictable, easy to stop, easy to exploit. The brutal truth is this: transparency without strategy is weakness. We live in a world where people crave certainty. The moment you reveal your plan, you hand them certainty, and that certainty kills your power. Machiavelli warned rulers centuries ago, intentions are like open maps. Once revealed, enemies plot against them. But conceal your path, and no one can stop what they cannot see. This is human psychology. What's predictable is controllable. What's hidden is feared. And what's mysterious is respected. Power is not about being the loudest voice in the room. It's about being the quietest one. The one no one can read, but everyone must consider. History offers brutal lessons. Take Napoleon. Before his campaigns, he fed his enemies false information, moving troops in unexpected ways. His unpredictability wasn't luck, it was strategy, and it worked until he became predictable. That's when he began to lose. Or think of politics. The most dangerous leaders are not those who shout their intentions, but those who smile in silence while moving pieces behind the scenes. By the time you realize their goal, it's too late. Even in daily life, the same pattern repeats. I knew a man who revealed every step of his business idea to his colleagues. He thought honesty would win support. Instead, one colleague borrowed the idea, launched first, and left him behind. His mistake wasn't lack of skill. It was lack of concealment. Remember, the enemy of power is not weakness. It's exposure. So what do? Should you lie? No. This law isn't about lying. It's about mastering the art of controlled revelation. Here's the strategy. Give them smoke, not fire. Share enough to appear open, but never enough to expose your true direction. Mask your motives. Distract with small goals while your real work happens quietly in the shadows. Let others feel in control. When people believe they understand your path, they stop digging. That's when you move in silence. Think of it like a game of chess. The best players don't shout their strategy. They sacrifice pawns, create diversions, and hide the real checkmate until it's too late. Your silence isn't deception, it's defense. And in a world that punishes those who are predictable, concealment is your shield. From this moment on, you will stop revealing blindly. You will no longer hand people the keys to your future. You will share with intention, conceal with purpose, and protect your vision until it's too strong to be stopped. You declare this now, right now. I conceal with strategy. I reveal with power. Because in the game of power, silence is not weakness. It is the ultimate weapon. And the less they know, the more control you hold. Forget everything they told you about being humble, quiet, or modest. Because here's the truth, in today's world, invisibility is death. If no one notices you, you don't exist. If people forget you, your power dissolves. Attention is not a luxury, it's oxygen. Without it, your ideas die, your voice fades, and your power crumbles. So before you fade into the background again, let me ask you, how many times have you lost because you were ignored, not because you were wrong? Think about it. At work, you gave everything, worked harder than anyone, but someone louder got the credit. In your relationships, you gave love, loyalty, and sacrifice, but were overlooked, taken for granted, forgotten. Even online, maybe you poured your soul into creating something, only for it to drown in silence because no one paid attention. It hurts, doesn't it? You think goodness will eventually shine through. That if you just stay consistent, people will notice. But the painful reality is this: the world doesn't reward the quiet, the invisible, the modest. It rewards the unforgettable. Being good in silence doesn't protect you. It buries you. Here's the brutal truth: power lives and dies on attention. People don't care about fairness. They care about focus. And the one who controls focus controls the narrative. Robert Greene called attention the currency of power. Machiavelli knew rulers survived not by being loved, but by being seen. Because invisibility is indistinguishable from weakness. Think about it. If people forget your name, you have no influence. If they don't notice your work, it has no impact. If they overlook your presence, you have no leverage. Attention is not about vanity. It's about survival. In the jungle of life, the predator who cannot be seen cannot hunt, but the prey who cannot be seen is devoured without mercy. History screams this lesson. Look at Julius Caesar. He wasn't just a general, he was a master of spectacle. Every victory was paraded, every triumph celebrated, every appearance designed to burn his image into the minds of Rome. He didn't just win wars. He won attention, and that attention made him untouchable, until his enemies grew jealous enough to strike. Or Napoleon, who carefully crafted his image with paintings, stories, and theater, ensuring even peasants in distant villages knew his name. He understood this law: people follow what they cannot ignore. Even in modern times, think about celebrities, influencers, politicians. Many aren't the smartest or the kindest, but they dominate attention. And because of that, they dominate opportunity. Now think of someone you know in daily life. The colleague who speaks confidently in meetings, even with half-baked ideas. They rise faster than the quiet genius in the corner. Why? Because attention beats competence every single time. It's unfair, but it's real. Silence doesn't build power. Visibility does. So what's the lesson? How do you master this law without looking desperate? Here's the strategy. Stand out deliberately. In a world drowning in noise, pick one thing about you that becomes unforgettable. A voice, a style, a message. Better to be criticized than ignored. Create spectacle. Humans are wired to follow drama, conflict, beauty, and surprise. Use story, symbolism, and ritual to make people stop and look. Feed attention strategically. Don't speak all the time. Speak when it matters most. Silence, broken at the right moment, creates more impact than endless words. Polarize if you must. Not everyone has to like you. In fact, having enemies makes you more noticeable. Those who hate you keep your name alive as much as those who love you. Think of it like fire. Too small, and it dies. Too wild, and it burns out. But controlled fire becomes a beacon, one that draws others in and keeps you at the center. From today on, you will no longer hide in the shadows of silence. You will no longer wait to be noticed. You will court attention strategically, deliberately, until your presence cannot be ignored. You declare this now, right now. I claim attention. I command focus. Because in the game of power, obscurity is death. And those who master attention don't just survive, they rule. Stop believing people help you because of kindness. I know you were taught that mercy, generosity, and appeals to goodwill can save you. That if you show vulnerability, people will step in. But let me ask you, how many times has begging for mercy truly worked? How many times has exposing your weakness brought protection instead of betrayal? Here's the brutal truth. In a world ruled by self-interest, mercy is an illusion. People don't care about your pain. They care about their gain. And unless what you want benefits them, your cries for help are wasted breath. Think about this. You worked late nights for your boss, hoping loyalty would earn you promotion. Instead, they kept you stuck because your loyalty served them better where you were. You gave endlessly in relationships, thinking your partner would appreciate your sacrifice. Instead, they grew colder because your giving made them comfortable, not grateful. You asked friends for help when you were at rock bottom. At first, they listened. But then excuses came, silence followed, and you realized mercy has an expiration date. The painful reality is this: when you appeal to mercy, you're asking people to act against their nature. And human nature is selfish. Not evil, just selfish. People aren't motivated by your survival. They're motivated by their advantage. The truth is simple but devastating. People act from self-interest, not compassion. Yes, they may smile, nod, even say comforting words. But when choice comes, they pick what benefits them, not you. Robert Greene warned, appeals to mercy, gratitude, or morality are weak currencies in the economy of power. Machiavelli wrote centuries earlier, men are quick to forget benefits, but never their own advantage. Think about it. Mercy depends on emotion. Self-interest depends on survival. Which one do you think lasts longer? Power doesn't grow by hoping others feel sorry for you. It grows by aligning your needs with their gain, so helping you feels like helping themselves. This is the hidden psychology. If people see your win as their win, they will fight for you. If they see your win as your win only, they will turn away. History proves it brutally. During the Renaissance, city-states often begged powerful rulers for mercy. They pleaded loyalty, gratitude, past friendship. It rarely worked. What worked was tribute, alliance, and trade, self-interest. When a ruler saw profit in sparing a city, he did. When he saw none, he burned it to the ground. Or think of business today. Companies don't fund startups out of pity. They invest when profit is likely. Investors don't care about your passion. They care about ROI. Even in daily life, imagine two coworkers. One says, "Please help me, I'm drowning in tasks." The other says, "If you help me with this project, I'll make sure you shine in front of the boss." Which one gets help? The one who appeals to self-interest. Mercy might win sympathy. Self-interest wins action. So what's the lesson? Stop asking for help out of pity. Start aligning your requests with their advantage. Here's how you do it. Frame your request as a benefit. Don't say, "I need this." Say, "Here's how this benefits you if we do this together." Show them their gain. People care less about your need and more about their reward, recognition. Money, influence, safety. Turn mercy into leverage. If you must appeal to compassion, link it to their self-image. "Helping me proves your leadership," or "supporting this cause boosts your reputation." This isn't manipulation for cruelty. It's strategy for survival. If you appeal to mercy, you're gambling with emotions. If you appeal to self-interest, you're dealing with reality. From today forward, you will stop begging for mercy. You will stop waiting for compassion to save you. Instead, you will speak the only language power understands, self-interest. You declare this now, right now. I appeal to self-interest, not mercy. Because in the game of power, pity is fragile. But self-interest? Self-interest is eternal. Everyone tells you change is good. Society celebrates the reformer. The kind one who wants to fix everything. The generous one who sacrifices themselves to improve the world. But let me ask you this. When was the last time massive change actually made you safe? The brutal truth? Change preached too loudly, or pushed too quickly, destroys the one who dares to lead it. Because people don't really want transformation. They want comfort. They want familiarity. They fear the unknown. And if your kindness drives you to change everything at once, you will pay the ultimate price: rejection, betrayal, even destruction. Think about it carefully. At work, you stepped in to fix the system. You gave more of your time, more of your energy, believing everyone would appreciate you. Instead, your peers turned against you. They said you were arrogant, moving too fast, making them uncomfortable. In relationships, you tried to change someone for the better. You gave endless kindness, patience, generosity. But instead of gratitude, they pulled away, resenting you for making them feel judged. In society, history shows us countless leaders who dared to reform too much too soon, only to be toppled by the very people they wanted to protect. The pain of blind goodness is this: when you demand too much change at once, you trigger fear. And fear turns allies into enemies. The truth is simple but brutal. Humans resist sudden change. We cling to what's familiar, even if it's broken. We fear what's new, even if it's better. Robert Greene explains, reformers always fail when they push too hard. Machiavelli warned centuries ago that there is nothing more difficult than taking the lead in the introduction of a new order of things. Why? Because when you disrupt the comfort of others, you awaken their survival instincts. They feel unsafe. And when people feel unsafe, they don't thank you for your kindness. They punish you for your audacity. So here's the dark reality. Kindness that drives you to change everything quickly is self-sabotage. Strategic power requires patience, timing, and disguise. History proves this mercilessly. The French Revolution promised liberty and equality. But too much change, too fast, unleashed chaos, and the revolutionaries themselves fell to the guillotine. Religious reformers who demanded radical transformation were silenced, exiled, even executed. In modern corporations, visionary CEOs who overhaul everything overnight often lose their board, their investors, their teams, not because their ideas were wrong, but because the pace of change terrified everyone. And in everyday life, the manager who tries to fix every broken process at once gets labeled as a troublemaker. The friend who insists on helping you change gets ghosted. The partner who tries to transform someone too quickly gets pushed away. The lesson is carved into history and psychology alike. Change too much, too fast, and your kindness becomes a death sentence. So how do you do it differently? You master the art of Law 45. Preach progress, not revolution. Show people the need for change, but only introduce it in small doses. Tiny steps feel safe. Sudden leaps feel threatening. Disguise your reforms. Wrap change inside tradition. Make it look like you're protecting the old while gently guiding toward the new. People accept what feels familiar. Pace your kindness. Don't give everything at once. Offer help strategically. Protect yourself from resentment by introducing improvement slowly. Remember the long game. True power isn't about changing everything today. It's about planting seeds that grow over time, unnoticed, until the garden looks different and no one remembers how it used to be. This is how you protect yourself. This is how you stop kindness from becoming the excuse for others to destroy you. Because in power, survival belongs to the one who moves with patience, not desperation. From today forward, you will stop sacrificing yourself for sudden change. You will stop believing that blind goodness earns gratitude. Instead, you will move with strategy. You will guide change step by step, never too much at once, never so fast that fear turns against you. You declare this now, right now. I choose patience. My change is strategic, not desperate. Because the terrifying price of kindness is rushing to save everyone at once. But the reward of Law 45 is the power to reshape the world, slowly, invisibly, and with absolute control. Before you click away, stop and decide right now. Will you keep living as the world's doormat, giving blindly until you're broken? Or will you take everything you've learned tonight and transform your goodness into a weapon, sharp, strategic, undeniable? This is the turning point. From today forward, your kindness will no longer chain you. It will crown you. You can let it destroy you, or you can wield it to command respect, loyalty, and power. The choice is yours. If this message opened your eyes, smash that like button. If you want more truths that cut through illusions and expose the real laws of power, subscribe to this channel and turn on the bell, because what's coming next will change how you play the game forever. And don't keep this wisdom to yourself. Share this with someone who's still trapped in blind goodness. Give them the key to break free. Now, drop this in the comments. Right finger, I choose strategic goodness. I turn kindness into power. Remember this, in a world of wolves, sheep are eaten. Lions fight, but shepherds rule. Be the shepherd, wise, strategic, and unshakable. Thank you for watching. This is just the beginning. I'll see you in the next video.